In this section, I will be introducing to you how to make stories, which will be the exhibition for your designed models. So first thing first, I made 5 new states to put in a story. So I will show that one by one. So that's the first state. Second state, showing the plan with 2 parts of the building. Third state with a section painting, section drawing added, and then a rotation from the third stage showing side of this building. Also keep the section drawing and back, the back rotation of these 2 drawings. Okay, let me go to my first state and show you one important aspect of the state editing if you are using mobile devices. Okay, so you're seeing everything fine here on my desktop, right? You're seeing a big a big building in the middle and with the trees. However, if you keep this configuration and then show that to your friend on your mobile phone, such as on this example, so I'm adjusting my browser aspect ratio, so that will mimic how it shows up on your phone, right? Because everybody has a vertical phone. Okay, so now you will notice that, well, my tree and some part of building got cut off. Okay, so to fix this, you have to pay a special attention to where your models are on your desktop. So you can kind of try and how it feels like if you zoom out, if I zoom out. If I pull my camera further, I can find a location for it to make it show better on my mobile phone. And similarly, if I look at my desktop browser, I could find some areas right about this area. Uh-huh. And then if I try to fit that, I move my camera and zoom out, so I can try to fit about the same aspect ratio on my mobile phone. Then I go to the left panel, and then go to save state. Okay, now it will be fine if you want to show that on your phone. Then let's go back to the story editing of that. It is fairly simple. What you have to do is to first go to the third tab named Stories, and then go to this plus button. And now the story editing UI will be shown. Okay, so it had 2 parts majorly. So the first part is a node graph. A node is a state and all the available state for you to choose to be assigned to each node. So what I'm going to do is I click on the first node. You'll see that's the 0 state, is our default state. So it's a good practice to not use the default state, which is state 0 in any of the stories because state 0 contains a lot of information about your models when they are loading in. So we should keep story 0 almost untouched for our projects. Okay, so to switch my state 0 into my first desired state, which is my first state, I click on that. When it's turning red, I assign that to the first state. Okay, I added the next node by clicking on the plus button here. When it is turning red, I go assign to the second state, and then click again, go to the plus button, click on that, assign it to the third state. Okay, now I have my state graph, which will do the first state leading to second state, leading to third state. Okay, the last thing I want to do is to name it house story. Okay, give it a name. We do not recommend you to use any space with your story name because when we're showing that in exhibition mode, by making a URL for it, it makes it easier for a URL to not have a space. Okay, we have a space, we have the story name, we have the story graph. That's everything we need. Now we'll go save our story. Okay, once it's saved, you will see the story popping out under the story column here. So we'll go close our UI and then we'll be able to see our story here ready to play. So how to play a story is that we first go to reset everything, reset animation, reset the refreshing of the states, and then we go to click the play button. You will see the animation playing connecting all the three. That's two, and that's three. Okay, that's our first story. So after playing, you want to hit the stop button again to reset everything in order for you to make further changes. So the first change I want to show is to replace the states in a saved story. So we go to the editing, right? Click on this note button, and then it will show up our story graph again. So how to replace, for example, instead of first, second, third, I want third, second, first. It's very simple. Go click on the state node, reassign, click, reassign, click, reassign, and then save. Close the UI, reset your animation. Okay, now we see the reset to the first state of this story is our third state. So I go again, third, second, then go back to first. When finish playing, stop and reset. All right. So now, because I show you the new states I made, I want to make a longer story. I will just do it fairly quickly. So remember, never use your state 0. So what I want to do is I want the second state go first, plus, and I want it to rotate to the back, intermediate, plus sign, click, reassign back, click the add button, reassign intermediate, click add sign. Then I wanted to go to my third state, click on that, reassign that to finish to the first state. Okay, now I have this guy. I'll name it house story 2. Then I save it. Now you'll see my second house story 2 got registered. If you want to change the name of your story, you just go to the corresponding story, go hit the editing button and then rename it and then save it again. So unlike the state editing column where saving a new name will create a new state in the database, saving a new name in the story UI will overwrite the story because we'll overwrite the existing story name because how stories and its states are saved and collected in the data system. So make sure you know how this works. Okay, so now I have house story 1 and then house story 2. Okay, let us look at what is house story 2. Before playing, reset. Reset. So if I play it, it should go second state, rotate to the side, rotate to the back. Mm-hmm. Hold for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Rotate back to the middle. Hold for 3 seconds. 2, 3. Go back to state 3. And then collapse the models. Finish up in state 1. And then if you feel something is a bit slow, for example, the rotation, the intermediate, they might take too long to rotate to my desired angle. I can change the timer by choosing the state node, changing the number here. So 1000 milliseconds means 1 second. I'm changing that. If I want the rotation to be faster, right, I can go to this one and then change the connecting timer. That if I want it to rotate a little bit faster, I can assign to 3000 milliseconds, which is 3 seconds. Okay, so I will also do this one, change it to 3. If I want to first stay to stay longer, I can change it to 1 second and then hit enter to register the state timer. You can also check on the timer by clicking on the state node, and you can check on the transition timer by clicking on the numbers above the transition line. Okay. After that, I go save again. Then my story 2 should have a new timer, which you will see for the intermediate, it will stay significantly shorter on the animation. Again, I go reset and I play the story again. Let's see. This will 1 second and then rotate to the back. Of course, you can stop that anytime by hitting the stop and reset button. And that's our second story. All right. The last thing I want to show you in this part is to replace an asset, an image or model in a state, and they will be automatically updated for both stories. Okay, because how that work is that when the story is running, right, the system will pull the settings from your stories that are saved in your states that are saved in the database. So if we change any of the states here, so when the story is playing, what it will get will also be updated. So which means you don't have to reassign stories, reassign states in your stories if you ever update any of the states here. So I'll make a very simple example here. Okay, remember this elevation, I mean section drawing. So perhaps somewhere I don't want the section anymore. I want a photo of this courtyard, which I have it in my catalog. So this photo from a capture of a 360 video. Okay, I'll make sure that in my project asset it's in, and it is in also in my active model. So I go back to storyboard, edit mode. Okay, so I will turn off the light helper, turn off the show grid, make this cleaner. Then I'll go to the third state. Okay, you see this guy? Go to the models, right? So this guy is named section. Turn that off. Turn the photo on. Okay, that's it. You have to go to the models and by checking and unchecking the box next to the name of either your image or your model. So that controls whether that particular image or model show up in this state. So you can double check by looking at the state name here. and then your desired model or image. So after that, go save state. Okay, now the visibility of that thing will be registered. Okay, and I also have, so in my intermediate, I still have this. You have to do that for any states you like that to be consistent, and then you will do that state by state and then save it. Again, the most important thing is that once you do a desired change, you go save. Okay, that's the intermediate. Then also for the back. Although I cannot see that due to the backface rendering, but it's always a good practice to have it turned off or turned on for consistency. Okay, go to the state, then save state. Okay, now we go to our stories. So I'll play the first one. Now you can see the first story, right? I have the photo here, just like my updated. Oh, it's not here. Just like my updated states in my states editing, right? So I go to my stories reset before playing, and if I play this again, you will see. So that's third, and that's two, right? That's first. All right. To make it consistent, I have to turn off the section for state one because when it is going into the state one by the animation, then it will register the section drawing as invisible. Then let me try again for the second story. So second state, rotating back, rotating to the middle. Back to three, collapsing to one. Now all good. All right. After you finish all your stories, it is time to make an URL in exhibition mode and share it with your friend. Before we enter the exhibition mode, if I click on a star icon next to one of the stories, this will become the default stories. So if I load into exhibition mode, this story will be the one that is showing. However, I can also change it to the second one if this is the story I want to show. So how to go to the exhibition mode, and we should turn off our editing mode first. So go to storyboard edit. So on this blue toggle, now it says on, and we're going to left click on that and then turn the edit mode off. So what you're looking at, it's the storyboard editing mode off, right? But you'll be also seeing all the stories you have here, and you can play test them one by one if you want to double check. And now from here, we'll be entering the exhibition mode by clicking on this PowerPoint board icon to toggle exhibition mode. Okay, so this is my default story, which is my first story and also the one that I got a star marker on. And if you check on the URL, you will see exhibition. Here, you will see exhibition on. So that's our exhibition mode. Okay. So,
Can you play it?
yeah. So if I play it, you will see my first story, okay, being played. And then I'll go to the first. So that was my first story.